what's the relationship like with the new lady? Because you haven't had one in quite a while. That was in TV.
Pretty steamy.
For you. Pretty
Yeah. We read 50 Shades of Grey to each other. No, I'm just teasing.
Are you petitioning for Christian Grey right now?
I'm certainly not. I actually haven't even read it. But no, I do know the reference, which is saying something. If you haven't read a book and you know the reference, the relationship between Sam and Amelia, which I really enjoy, is done in retrospect, and so it's done mostly in flashbacks. And we will get into later in the season real time relationship. But I've kind of been not petitioning in the literal term, in the literal sense of the word, but vocal about, like, guys, I love when shows will go back and kind of show what's happened, and I've loved the episodes of Supernatural that have done it. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I've loved episodes that have gone back in time and told a cool story that you can't tell in the present tense as well as you can tell in reflection. And so we see a lot of Sam and Amelia, is the character's name, in flashbacks, which is nice because we all see Dean and what he kind of did in his flashbacks. And so they're nice kind of very opposite sides of the coin, where one guy is happy and content and living a, quote, supernatural Winchester normal life, and the other is in purgatory, fighting for his life. So we see Sam and Amelia kind of develop this relationship. They're both misfits. They've both gone through loss, and they're both not outcasts so much, but they're brought together by a bizarre set of extenuating circumstances, and they find each other's arms and each other's minds and say, this is good, what we've got. Why look a gift horse in the mouth? Let's just kind of go with it. And so we see glimpses of it. And at first, maybe I become like a fangirl of the show, but I was like, a girl for Sam? Like, what's he doing? But as I kind of learned about the relationship, I was so happy to explore that role and that character. And Sam, from the get, has been hoping to kind of reinvent himself as the person that he always thought he was, which is kind of a backward speak. But he was the one who in the pilot wanted to stay in college. He was at Stanford hoping for his MCATs or what LSATs to come back and have a good score. So he's always kind of fought for the normal life. And he's always fought for kind of the relationship. Not always to his credit, because he's taken some wrong turns. But I got married, so it's fine. Sorry, tangent. But we basically find out in retrospect what's happened. So as the show opens, the relationship's in the past, but it's still on Sam's mind.
So part two then, transitioning from that, I mean, how willing is he to just jump right back into the old life after a year of having fun? Yeah,
not willing. Not to interrupt, but I feel like he's not willing. He, once again, has... I think Sam in this season is different than Sam in other seasons where Dean was either in hell or where Sam was in hell, or usually when they've been split up, there's been sort of the impetus of, like, well, my brother's in trouble. I've got to save him. I've got to help him. He's going to help me. He's going to save me. But here, Sam is like, you know what? I was in a room. Dick Roman vanished, and Castiel vanished. Kevin Tran is gone. I have no body. I have no Misha. I have no nothing. I'm going to take off the hunter garb and just live a normal life because I have nothing tying me back. There's no Joe. There's no Harvell's Roadhouse. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing holding Sam back from a normal life. So he really commits to it, and so when it all comes crashing back down, it's like a brutal reminder yet again of who he kind of has been and is possibly meant to be. He isn't so happy about it. I mean, he's been living a pretty good, contented life.
That Amelia's in flashbacks. Does that mean when he goes back on the road with Dean, he's not trying to keep the relationship going?
When we start, Sam's in a state of flux a little bit, and he's essentially... without trying to give away too much, most of what we see in Amelia, at least in the first third of the season, is in flashback. We will see her in the present tense, and Sam certainly hasn't written her off. Like I said, Sam didn't. Sam's not bullshitting when he says to Dean and Cass, like, "Hey guys, I want out. Like I've been out, and I feel like my heart is not here. I'm doing this to make good on my commitments, but my heart's elsewhere." And so we do see Amelia in the present tense, but we do a fun thing in Supernatural this season, and I'm really happy that Jeremy and the bunch decided to go this way, where we kind of play with present tense and past tense, which I'm really excited about. I think that those have been some of my favorite Supernatural episodes, even in flashbacks, like when Lucifer is going to kill Dean, and they flash back to the G.I. Joe, and so I'm like, oh, that's great, like it adds the depth that I feel we've earned with 155 episodes. Like, show some of that shit. We've worked hard. So I suppose that.
And so at this point, his attitude, now in episode 8, he's still kind of, his heart's not in it still.
Here, kind of entering the mid part of the season, he is a hunter, and he's a committed guy, so whatever he's doing at the time, he's not going to half-ass. But I feel that Sam has now had a true taste of what his life would be if hunting never entered the equation, and I think a part of him really wants out badly now.